It's time to clean your room, Viv. Is it going to take a while? I don't know. Until we start, we won't know. This week's message is about teaching my kid to do self-care by cleaning her room. I found it really surprising that it was pretty healing for me to talk to her about self-care and to help her clean her room. Because I think I had this idea in my head that it had to be something she did on her own, she would figure it out, blah, blah, blah. And so I set a timer. I was totally convinced it was gonna take a long time. It actually took about 25 minutes once we started working on it together. And at first I was really wrapped up in the notion of it has to be done this way. We have to put it away this way. This needs to be put away. This needs to be put away. And I realized a quote that I love by Jess Lair is, "Children are not things to be molded, but people to be unfolded." And I realized that in demanding how she did something, I was taking away her ability to figure it out. And so often as parents, I think that sometimes we have this idea in our head about how it's going to go and what needs to be done. And letting go of that allowed it to be a much more entertaining time. We had fun. We cleaned her room and it was done in 25 minutes. And then we played with her magnetiles for a while. And I realized I hadn't done that in a little bit. If you have kids that you play with, when was the last time you sat down and played with them and didn't have an agenda? You didn't have a timer going. It wasn't like, hey, I'm going to do this with you and then we're going to do something else. If you have a timer going and that's your system, no shade. I'm saying, when was the last time you did it and you didn't think about how long you were going to be doing it or as a means to an end to get to the next thing? Sitting there and playing with her, I found myself able to just be silly and have fun, and we made all kinds of faces and we played all kinds of games and it was super fun. Don't get me wrong. I don't have to tell you, if you care for a child in any capacity, whether you are a mother, a father, a caregiver, and you have a loved one in your care, it can be incredibly frustrating. So I think it's important that we talk about that. And I think it's important that we normalize that and we discuss how hard it can truly be. So then when these moments come, they're that much sweeter because you lean into that and you say, gosh, this is a really nice moment. I know other moments are coming that are not so great. And right now, this moment, I'm going to lean in to the present of playing with my daughter and being very silly. The reason I'm talking about this is because I've been seeing a lot of posts lately about the notion of how difficult it is to be a parent. And one of the things that makes it difficult is because we have this notion, this idealized idea of what it is to be a good parent. I'm here to tell you, much like being the boss of balance, some days it's an aspiration, other days it's a description. The exact same thing's true about parenthood. Most of the time, parenthood is making choices and decisions and hoping things don't blow up. And when they do, cleaning them up. I've gotten very good at repair because I make mistakes a lot. I'm sure you do too. I think the biggest thing is normalizing that and normalizing that for our kids, because if we don't, then they have some kind of notion in their head that they have to be perfect because we're perfect. I don't know about you, I'm not perfect. I never want my child to think that I'm perfect, because what a horrible mantle of responsibility to carry that around and expect that you have to be perfect because your parent was perfect, and then on and on and on. So let's stop that right now. A message I want to take away, I want you to take away, is that parenting is hard. And the more we talk about that and the more we normalize that, the better it gets for everybody. If you're finding me for the first time, I'm delighted that you're here. When you follow me weekly, you'll get a message about how to be boss of balance in your own life as a parent, partner, and person. You can follow me on Instagram at @thebossofbalance. You can also email me at thebossofbalance@gmail.com if you have an organization that needs help finding balance. I'll see y'all next week. And in the meantime, keep seeking your balance, whatever that looks like.